Hey, gang, welcome back. This is Karandrin role playing. My name is Kevin Manus Pinnings, also known as Cracked Palantir. This is episode 61. We've made it to 61. You should be excited because I am. Above Brise's Tale. And as always, playing Brise is my good buddy Max. Max, buddy, say hello to everybody.
Hi, everybody. 61. I'm feeling old. I don't know about you, Kevin.
I thought that's what you rolled. I hear your dice there. I thought that's what you rolled.
I rolled 56.
That's not good.
Anyhow, yes, welcome, everybody. Hope you're having a good night. Ready for some Karandrin role playing.
Yes. Our recap is not very complex today, which has got to be a relief to some of our watchers, some of our viewers. We are actually doing some exploration of a ruin. I don't ever call them dungeons. Max and I talked about this the other day. I don't ever call them dungeons. They're not really dungeons. I've never liked that term because it has a specific medieval meaning. So why would you confuse those two? But it's a set of ruins. Specifically, it's a mountainside manor. We know it was initially built by an ancient race of humans, and thereafter was taken over by the Goblin Nation that arose in its place, but has since been abandoned by the goblins. So in exploring it, we've had a little bit of combat. We've had some indication that it was a plague that probably caused this place to be abandoned. It may have wiped out the whole family. And you can watch the previous episodes and catch up on that. But in the as he's exploring the second floor of this sort of Spanish style manor, that is to say, has a central courtyard, and otherwise is sort of bordered on by the whole mansion. He's on the second floor of it. She is, in exploring it, she's come across three young fae fluttering in a room, two females, one male, lightly armed with either daggers or short swords. It's hard to tell with their stature. They're about 18 inches high, and they seem as curious about Brise as Brise does about them. It's been a peaceful encounter thus far. They have been asking each other questions, and after some initial trepidation, they seem to be, just talking. So, Max, buddy, what are we doing here? What do you want to ask them?
I ask, so in our conversation, we've already talked a bit about what's going on at the manor. They talk about the constructs and the little girl encountered earlier and her father.
There are three constructs guarding the other three mansions on this estate.
Right.
And there was one that was patrolling or something that Brise had encountered before, and that was quite a tough fight. And really, Brise just had to extricate herself from that fight because it was going in a bad way. And so there's 3 or 4 constructs, female warrior constructs, that are around, and likewise, then the young lady we're referring to, the young girl, was the ghost of a young girl who she and her father had taken shelter here years and years ago. He had gone out to pick berries for them to have food, and probably came to a very bad end, and then she wound up basically dying of hunger or exposure, waiting for him. And Brise was able to basically sort of gently break the news to her that her father's not coming back, and that sort of released her spirit, which Brise felt very good about. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Yeah, that was a good summary. I wish I remember which episode number that was. But,
yeah, we need to get some summaries up on the website. We'll talk about that.
was cool. So I asked the Fae, you just that you seemed so. Um, have you interacted with other humans before? You seem to be a little frightened of me. I wouldn't think us to cause you any harm.
We are told to avoid you, says the most talkative of them, which is one of the girls. They say that you will destroy us. The elders do. So we are supposed to avoid you, and certainly the goblins that rule this area.
Hmm.
And particularly anyone wearing robes, because they will seek the secrets of our magic,
Hmm.
capture us, and torture us.
Does that ring a bell with any stories I've heard, or is that like what was that?
There are numerous stories that you have heard as a child about Fae being captured, forced to do things.
Hmm.
They were told to you as a child, sort of, um, you sort of, I think everyone sort of believes the Fae. They don't think they'll ever
Right.
encounter one in their life.
Right.
Believe in the Fae, I should say. But the um, their role in various stories just changes. Depends on the story.
Right.
And here, stories, you have stories about some powerful wizard trying to, compel a fae to do something and has them trapped in a jar. That's not an uncommon motif, but then neither is the fae playing tricks on us.
Right.
So,
Okay. I kind of point to their weapons in a second. I presume you were going to defend yourself with those if you tried to do anything.
they all back off from you and they say, "You're not going to try to capture us, are you?"
No, it was just a joke. Just trying to lighten the mood.
The boy says, "You guys are being silly. She's nice."
I am nice. Unless I'm angry.
They ask you, "Do you know of anyone who has captured a fae?"
I say no, only stories, but no one directly.
They ask you I think they already asked you though, if you're a typical human, right? Didn't they ask you that?
Yes, I said I'm a little taller and prettier than most humans. But
Oh my. Wow.
otherwise,
Jeez.
pretty average. I asked them if they have any names I should address them by. Name yourselves.
The names of things give power over those things. We will not tell you our names.
Okay. I'll just have to use my wizard skills to try. No. That's interesting. I tell them I told you my name. It would only be seem equal if at least one of you told me your name.
She turned with the main spokesperson turns and and says, "We should go."
Oh no.
The others seem resistant.
I tell them, I'm sorry. It's okay. Fine. I don't need to know. Just curious is all. I tell them I'm just very interested in creatures and the Fae and that sort of thing, and in learning as much as I can about them.
We will only tell you things about us if you tell us things about you.
That's fair.
Why are you here in this dismal place?
Well, I am trying to learn about what happened here, um, and also trying to salvage any art and treasure, any valuables here.
We know of the big people's greed, their love of gold and shiny things. There's definitely shiny stuff in the other houses.
Okay.
The one of the other girls is like, oh yeah, a lot of shiny stuff.
Um, I asked them, "Do you think it'd be possible to get to one of the other houses without being seen by the metal women?"
The metal women are not very bright. They only stay at the back of the house. They walk back and forth. For years and years, they walk back and forth.
So, okay, does that have a picture in my head? If I remember the arrangement right, wasn't it like kind of like a big cross, like the three guest houses? Three guest.
So you have the guest house here, and then the main house here.
Mhm.
And it's easily twice the size of
Right.
the mansions. Although the mansions are 3 stories, whereas this one is two plus the servants.
Right.
These houses are 3 full stories, and then maybe there's there are servant quarters in the attic. But um, and then so off to the um, if it were on a map, it'd be off and to the left. Then at the edge of the outcropping, overlooking the valley, are the 3 houses in a row, separated by a moderate amount of space, but fairly tightly together, no doubt,
Yeah.
because of the geography, just limited room. And as we have suspected, as we suspect, they're probably houses that were built for allies
Mm.
to either come visit or to occupy because their own estates had fallen, had fallen to less prosperous times, and so they had to sell their land, or the land was conquered or seized by some other ruler as punishment. Um, and so there's a sense that this is sort of a family alliance. Um, this is an alliance of families, I should say. And so that's certainly, as for our viewers, there are obelisks on this property, which is an indication it's from this ancient Manish race. And then on the obelisks themselves is a depiction of family history,
Right.
and the houses
I
are
was,
represented by birds.
I was going to ask, just does I've seen the layout of them, and what they're saying is that I don't. Max doesn't understand
I
what
see.
where they're traveling. But I don't know if Breeze understands, or I could
So it
just
would be
ask.
on the edge. It would be on the far side of the houses from where you are now.
Yes.
Okay, so the front, which faces uh, all the stables, outhouses, all that.
Right.
Okay, the fronts of those houses face the interior of the property. The
Right.
backs of the houses face the outer valley.
Okay, so they're saying they probably just patrol the back, like in case
Yes,
anyone's trying to
yeah.
sneak in from the back. Okay.
And the
All
sense
right.
is from what you've glimpsed, like you've never seen 3 patrolling at once. It's
Right.
always one. So there's probably one assigned to a house, is your sense of things,
Okay. Yeah.
which would make sense, but it doesn't matter. You'll be in line of sight in all likelihood to
Yeah.
all 3.
Right.
And so if you, you know how tough it was to fight one.
Probably be invisible or something to
Yeah,
get.
you really need to be careful. And and there's no question, there's no knowing whether or not these constructs can enter the house.
Right. Right.
And so it's going to be challenging to do anything in those other houses, if they're capable of entering.
Mhm.
Um, now, maybe you could sneak into a house and just snipered them away with
Right.
your very special bow, that would be lovely.
Yeah.
Because you know, I mean, you know from fighting them, I mean, they're just tough to beat.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. Well, that's good info. I also tell the Fae that there's another room here that has lots of art and statues, and I was wondering how I can get them out of here. It's a shame they're just locked up. It would be great to share them with other humans, have them appreciated.
you don't have other humans to help you. We have others of our people to help us.
Well, okay. Just seeing. I say not right now. Um, and you seem to have some magical abilities. I wonder if you'd be willing to help me.
The boy points at the lead spokesperson and says, Inawa has a spell that might help, and then clenches his mouth.
Not only did he say her name, but what was it? Inoa?
Inawa. Yeah, I'll send you a spelling.
Yeah.
Oh wow, they look at him, and then they all flee.
Oh no! Inoa! Shit.
They head straight out the window, which is to say, then, um, yeah, so straight. Right, so straight over, probably right by the tree where you were thrown when you tried to teleport
Right.
ages ago. Straight, so the slope of the mountain, of course, proceeds up there fairly quickly, um, and so you assume they're going home, obviously. So
Right. Well, that sucks. So I just remembered for all our viewers, we were doing some experience tallying, and I forgot I have a very special dagger with a +3 initiative to it.
yeah,
The description here. Although you know what, the dagger I was using was +20 actually.
okay,
Plus
good.
20 that ignores defensive bonuses. So like they're kind of they're both good on there. I guess
Yeah,
if you have one in each hand, like is that like an actual fighting
yeah,
style?
and you could you could swap out, and attacking with your offhand is, obviously is a penalty, as it should be. Um, but but you could definitely hold on to one. But of course, that means no shield for you too,
Right. And I do
and the
like that.
shield is
Yeah.
probably more important for you because
Oh, but what if I have the dagger +3 initiative and then the shield, minus initiative? That would be awesome.
that's hilarious. That's
Yeah,
true. The shield does help you with the initiative problem.
it really
As
does.
long as they can't resist its magic, then they lose initiative, and that's really helpful for you because you really have learned that so many of these creatures are faster than you. Um,
Hmm. Strangely so. Um, okay, got that written down. So okay, so I mean, I guess darn, I'll keep exploring then, and maybe at some point I'll run into them again, and what you call it, meet them again at some point.
sure.
Yeah,
I mean, certainly they're small enough to they'll probably be observing you if they
yeah,
haven't fled all the way home. You know.
yeah. I wonder if there's any kind of detect magic might work, but that's just such a small radius. It's like
Yeah.
19 feet. So
Right. But it has a range that you could cast it on an individual spot. You
true.
see.
Yeah, 50 foot, so I could cast it where. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Let's um, keep on going down the. So I think I was at the fourth inner room. I've already explored the fourth outer room. So am I in almost the end of the hall, or?
Yeah, you've got well, you're about halfway. You've got 3 more rooms, dear Lord. I
Okay.
skipped.
Okay. Each
Oh,
side.
what kind of headache was I having when I wrote this stuff down, dear Lord? Because I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. Dear Lord. So yeah, you've got 3 more rooms on this side.
I'm gonna cast, just for shits and grins. I'm gonna cast ears of the hair on
Oh,
me from my tome here. Because I'm like, you know what? I should be able to hear what all this stuff is. So let me make sure I have the right PowerPoints and stuff for that. There's
well, if
an
you're
eighth
casting
level.
it from the tome, you don't need it.
Oh, that's right. It is.
Yeah, the tome
Brise,
acts like a
right? Yeah,
scroll.
yeah. Silly me. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna try casting that 8th level spell. So I'm going to cast at 10th level because of the tome, and so that'll be for 10 minutes. I guess have very good hearing.
Yeah.
So
So roll to cast
Right.
it. Just roll above a 5 would be great.
28.
Not a great casting. 12 exhaustion. It was a very difficult cast for you,
Yeah.
but you definitely can hear tremendously. Your ears tell you there is no motion on this side of the house. You can hear the smaller claws of actual rats and the larger claws of the large rats that occupy the warren all the way across the courtyard.
Wow.
Gives you some sense of relief. It suggests that you're alone, even, I mean, you're fairly confident there's nothing moving even on the far side of the house.
Right. Somebody could be sleeping, but yeah.
Right. Motionless, not causing a great deal of noise. Outside, the wind is going, of course, up on the slope. That's providing some background noise that's troublesome.
Yeah.
What's so crazy is with I've got to write your bird's name down. What's her name?
Nalani.
With Nalani sort of on your shoulder, you can hear her breathing. You can hear her heartbeat.
Wow.
Um,
She's on my shoulder. It's like I turn her like, what's that? Huh? Whoa. Where was that noise?
It's in your tail. And you can hear the Fae talking about you.
Nah. Oh my gosh. Well,
They're definitely in the tree outside, on the far side of the tree outside the window, hiding among the branches, arguing about whether or not your intentions were bad.
Just curious if I can catch their other names,
I'm not sure it benefits you to get their names. If you use them accidentally, then
no, I mean, I know, yeah, I guess so. But anyway, no, I was just curious, But on the contrary, if I do use them, I might kind of pull like maybe these are kind of creatures you have to intimidate to really get any information. I don't know.
How would your character feel about intimidating these beautiful things?
I don't know. That's true. I don't know how Brise would really feel about that, because they're like kind of tricksters, like you said in the stories. The way I feel is like they're kind of like children, right? They do need to be like, hey, listen here, and you need to. But I don't mean them any harm.
So the younger female Fae's name, you infer, is Kapha.
Kapha.
There's no mention of the male's name. There's some brief talk about trying to subdue you, about, do we need to attack him? Her, do we need to attack her? And that's quickly dismissed. There's talk about, do we go back and tell the elders, and like, no, we'll get in trouble, so we're not going to do that. You are the first human they've seen, and so you're seen as this huge opportunity, right, to get to know. And there's a talk about maybe trying to move one of the objects you talked about and see if that would make you more friendly, but they're uncertain about what items you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You just go to the window and talk loudly. I sure like that art in the fourth room.
Wow.
That would be great. It would be terrific. If only it were magically moved. So
that's funny.
I don't. Have you ever read Frankenstein, the novel Frankenstein?
Yeah, twice actually.
Oh, it's such a good book.
Both with the same English teacher, once in middle school, once in high school. She started teaching in high school. I'm like, oh, Miss Abaya, it's great to have you again. She's like, you're reading Frankenstein again.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh, like, oh, come on. We all had you in middle school.
It's a novel I recommend to everybody because it's so different than your expectations. And it's such a quick read to knock out a real classic.
Yes.
And it's kind of eye-opening in so many ways. And one of my favorite parts about it is that Frankenstein's monster learned to speak by hiding in the shack behind a French couple, a French family's home.
Right.
And he sort of really came to care for this family.
You would chop them and stuff. Yeah.
And so when he heard that the family was, struggling to stay warm and this sort of thing and needed firewood chopped, that was one of their big chores for the day. He went out at night. Frankenstein's monster went out at night and chopped a mountain of firewood for them.
Right.
And then when the elderly father came out and was told of the wood, he thanked the spirits of the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
And I think about that, like who was it, the cobbler story about making the shoes and all that, and all these various fairy tales about the good deeds of the Fae. It's all that's very interesting to me. This notion, these sort of folk notions of random good acts being performed by unknown spirits. That's very interesting. What we would probably call luck.
Right. Well, as if to also like attribute your own like bad memory to like some other supernatural force. Did I chop that wood? It's like, oh, must have been the good spirits.
Exactly. Yeah.
I
don't remember depositing that check. That's great.
Yeah, I mean, I'll listen in as long as like it, seems interesting. But if they're just kind of still bickering, then
they eventually come to the decision that they're going to just basically spy on you the whole time.
Okay.
So
I guess I'll just try to be a good person. I don't know what I could do that would alleviate.
Impress them or persuade them that you're,
Draw a picture of one of them and just like punch. This is going to happen. Like, how did they know? Over here that they're going to spy on me.
So you can hear the flutter of their wings. You hear their movement. You think it's tough to tell through the rustle of trees and stuff. But obviously, you can turn your back to the window so you're not caught just staring, trying to find them in the trees. It does leave then the room attached to this suite, right? If that's your next goal.
Be thorough here.
That door is wide open. The room is empty. So head back out into the hall.
Okay. Yeah.
So next up, on the courtyard side is a closed door, and on the courtyard side is an open door. On the outer on the outer side, there's an open door.
Hmm.
And again, you suspect that all these are empty because there's really no sound of it. I mean, you would even expect to hear the sound of breathing. Um, so, which do you go to, sir?
We'll go to the one on the. Sorry, I kind of blanked out. You said they're both closed.
So, no, courtyard side is open.
Okay.
So that's on this side of the hall.
Yeah, we'll check out the courtyard side.
Still got a few minutes of your thing as you approach. See if things change. You hear what is definitively the large, dangerous toad in the courtyard moving.
Limping.
Yeah, sounds like it's approaching the burrow,
Okay.
which is to you would be across the way, um, um, up in the north corner of the mansion,
Right.
inside of the courtyard. So,
Interesting. Okay. Then let's.
so this open door though is this open door, the what would be sort of the sitting room for guests. That is empty. The bedroom door, which would be inside this room, is closed.
We'll give that a listen and throw it open.
Locked. No sound though.
Okay. Do a quick try and unlock spell. We'll just do it at the basic level 4.
All right. Roll it up for me.
62.
Unlocks. Opens. It is empty.
All right. Back out.
Back out into the hall. Closed door. My lead will not work on my pencil.
Give that one a listen.
Roll for me.
67.
No noise from in there.
Okay.
Open
It's
it.
like feeling like exploring an abandoned hotel. It's like, yep, that room's the same. That room's the same.
It is. I mean, it's
This room has
some
a haunted
ways.
ghost. This room's the same. This room.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Notes by some refugees. Yeah, our viewers may remember last time we came across an adventurer's note scrawled on the wall about something called the Cloud Temple, which is apparently a floating temple of some sort. They were charting. Another room has been converted to storage, basically. There's just a pile of matted rags across one side of it, and that's your guess. They had stacked up mattresses or something there, and they've just collapsed to nothing. There's also bed tables stacked up, tables from sitting rooms and things like that. They haven't been picked over like like the various valuable metals pried from them, things like that. They're still all intact and in fairly good shape. What cloths covered them and so on are tearing and sagging and so on, showing their age. But as you sort of just gingerly move things, you can tell that they've not been set at by thieves and so on who would just pry the valuables off of them. So it's kind of interesting. Like, it occurs to you that could you win favor with me overall by informing her of this estate?
Yeah.
Right? Because so
A lot
long
of
as
stuff
it's,
here. Yeah.
well, reclaiming the estate and refurbishing it would give her something to give away as a token of favor,
Right.
assuming it lies within the boundaries of her county.
Right.
So
But yeah,
basically,
it's in the mountains. It seems like it wouldn't be too far outside of
well,
you.
it's, I mean, but so is most of this nation is in the
Mhm.
mountains. And
True. Yeah.
so, and with Algert's territory to the west, and you've traveled somewhat west to get here, who knows where those lines lay. But um, um,
No,
but
Albert's domain was to the east,
oh,
actually.
sorry, my bad. Oh, right, east. I gotta get those. So
This
I don't
is
know why I do that.
his worst cousin is also called Albert. She's just sandwiched between two like lords named Albert. Like,
What am I thinking?
terrible.
Um, but it's one of the ways, of course, historically that the royalties have granted favor is you just grant land from your own lands. You
Right.
give it to them, and then for disfavor, you seize their lands and
Right.
throw them into poverty. Which may have been what happened here, and may already be on her records for that matter.
Right.
And it's just one of a dozen such places that she just hasn't attended to. Um, there's just maybe more pressing matters to deal with. Um,
And then,
so the bedroom door to this suite is open. Oops. Um, it is empty. Maybe some of the servants. It's empty, but someone has carved into the floor some sort of game board.
hmm.
Um, and it may be they just came up here, in the final days and just said, okay, this will be our game room, and we're just gonna, you know,
Familiar with just something, lines on the ground.
right. It's like a checkerboard essentially, which in your knowledge could serve to be any of three or four different games that come to mind. Very popular forms of entertainment.
Right.
So back out into the hall.
Yeah. So we go to
Um,
six set
well,
of doors.
I should always remind you that obviously when you're on the courtyard side, you can always look out the windows onto the courtyard. When you're on the outer side, you can look out into the outer property. So never forget that if you want to check on progress there.
Right. Okay.
Certainly, probably you have the last few minutes of your hair's ears and your enhanced hearing. Um, and from here, you can make out the toad and the pile of goods that they basically retched up that they couldn't digest.
Right.
Um, and the toad gives the impression of hiding sort of behind the pile in that tree that's right
Yeah.
beside the pile.
Yeah.
So almost the sense definitely that it's like nursing its wounds, things like
Yeah.
that. It would be a difficult but not impossible shot to hit it again with the bow from here.
Okay. Does it look like I could get an even better shot if I keep moving down, or where it's
Hard
positioned?
to tell.
Okay.
Possibly the further up you go, it'll help avoid the pile.
Right.
But it's hard to
Yeah.
tell the height of the brush, whether that will, because
Right.
it's so overgrown.
Yeah.
And that
Well, yeah.
whole,
You know what? We'll just probably clear out the rest of these rooms and get the best possible shot on it because it's probably
okay.
going to wait for a while. So.
So back out into the hall.
Mm-hmm. And we'll explore the
Uh,
sixth door on the
yeah.
courtyard
Okay.
side.
On the courtyard side, both the doors are closed. On the outer side, the next one is closed. The last one is open. and
Okay.
then you have another set of steps that you assume go up to that master bedroom,
Right.
which
On
may
the
be
other side of it. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Roll for me.
Uh, 89.
What if you think the servants, you know, tried entry into the bedroom also and were
Right.
teleported away? And
Right.
that's how they met their end,
Right.
you know?
That's yeah. And the servants got too greedy.
Right. So, it's not, as you know, it's not uncommon. Basically, you keep a minimal staff at any home that, you occupy among your lands, right?
Right.
And they do regular cleaning and they await any message from you that you're coming to stay. And then they
Right.
do a thorough cleaning of the room. They light all the fires, they get it ready for your arrival.
Right.
And so, you would expect 2 to 6 servants would have stayed here until the lands really fell into disuse, or
Yeah.
or they received messages that their services were no longer required.
Mhm.
Um, and so, certainly it seemed like from the notes in one of the rooms, we had carved onto the walls, a death tally of family members and servants.
Mhm.
And it may be that, that they never received word, and then they just sort of abandoned their post saying, we've got to eat, and tried to travel to the next village to find work elsewhere. Um, so, so you got two closed doors.
Yeah. Let's check the courtyard side first.
Okay.
Open that bad boy.
No sound. Something has tried to claw through the door. I'm not going to be surprised if it's one of those larger unnatural rats,
Mm.
on the other side of the mansion. Um, the door is locked. Of course, you don't have to be polite. You can kick in doors, but whether you want to do that to
Make a bunch of noise. Yeah.
or to show disrespect to the property that you may then inform Neodral, it's going to.
True. Yeah. Well, I am. How much magic do I got? I'm still okay. Like, but once I start getting low, I should probably conserve it. Um, so if it's locked, I'll just do a normal unlock spell.
All right, roll it up.
Yeah. 70.
It unlocks, opens very easily. These doors have weathered the years really well.
Oh, I'm sorry. It opens a 1 level spell. I don't know. We'll say I was casting it at 4th level because I keep subtracting 4. It's the holy lock. That's a 4th level. I get them mixed up.
Well, no, I mean, if you're concerned about conserving power, it would be less logical for you to do that.
No, no. I mean, because there were doors that were higher levels anyway.
That's true. That there are, yeah, these are
So
very high quality locks,
right,
some of which we know are magical.
right.
Um,
One of which I couldn't even open. I think it was like 10th level. So,
yeah, even at 10th level, it resisted.
mhm. So
Um,
we'll say I've been using 4 kind of consistently. Break these guys open. You think about that, it's like when you buy a magical lock, like, oh, it's double the power, and then like it's only 2. It's or that's like an advertisement. Some shady wizards might try to.
that's right. Well, if you buy a scroll, a level 1, a unlocked scroll, of course, it's inherently level 10.
Right.
Which was a
Right.
decision I had to make, because
Yeah.
otherwise,
Interesting.
because you're like, well, that means all the first level spells are going to be inherently less useful,
Yeah.
right? So I said, we have to make them a minimum useful power level.
Right.
Because like, for instance, light was a great example. Light, like, okay, so I get light for 10 minutes. Well,
Right.
that's ridiculous. I don't want light for 10 minutes. I need light for okay, here's 90 minutes of light. Well, that's fantastic. That's not terrible for, also lowered the power on scrolls as I realized that problem. I basically cut the price in half.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's basically That's basically 5 gold. Especially 5 gold a level, basically.
Right.
Um,
It would be cool also if there is a unlock scroll, but like a higher level, like level 20 or something.
right.
Some type of way to do that, and
Right.
big use for that, right? But right, so I unlock this one, open it up, see what's inside.
So here, there's been an assortment of um, looks like sitting room tables stacked up,
Mm-hmm.
and some species of bird, smaller bird, has made nests throughout. So whatever was scratching at the door may have smelled birds and eggs. Um, and while they're no longer in the nests are no longer in use now, the windows are broken here.
Mm.
Bedroom door is closed. What is wrong with my writing? I'm trying to make a note of what's in this room, and then I don't know what character I wrote, but that was not an A.
Focus. Probably take a break in a little bit. I see if I can explore these 2 rooms and shoot at that toad, and then maybe we'll take a break.
Sure. So, checking from this window, shot is not great. There might be a gap in the foliage if you look out the bedroom window.
Mm.
You check the bedroom for sound, nothing. Door is not locked, but it is closed. Open. It is empty. Go to the window. Nope. I mean, it doesn't look like the foliage would stop the bolt, but it's going to stop you from aiming worth a crap.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
It's just too much brush to see through to really see where you're hitting.
Okay. Then we'll just try the last room just for
Completion's sake.
yeah.
So going over to it's closed. It is locked.
All right. Try and unlock level 4.
Roll it up.
Boom. 70.
It does not unlock.
Okay. Keep that in mind.
And I should say there is no sound coming from it.
Right. This is the 7th room. Oops. By the way, that puts me at 49 out of 100 exhaustion.
So you're at a small penalty.
Yeah.
For all your actions.
FYI, yeah. Why don't we send Nalani just around of the previous room, the 6th room? Let's just have her fly out and see if she can see what's inside the window.
Right.
If anything looks appealing.
She goes through, and you keep a tight control over her because you don't want that toad to notice her at all.
Right.
Flies over. Seems very close to the roof line. You have her check the courtyard. The outer yard as she goes through.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing seems to be moving or changed there. Nor do you get a glimpse of the constructs marching.
Mm.
She goes over the roof line, hops and flutters, lands on the balcony. The window is just too filthy for her to look in for the sitting room. She hops over to the balcony of the bedroom. Wow. Both rolled open-ended for how dirty the windows are. She just can't really see inside.
Damn, okay.
You have her check on the toad and her vantage point on the toad. It is a much better shot
Oh,
from
okay.
there. Um,
What's the chance of me jumping between the balconies? Is it a pretty big gap? Or
no, it's fairly close. Your fear of heights is your bigger
right,
discomfort with that.
right. Um, yeah, I would try to get out onto the balcony of the sixth room and see if I can bridge it somehow. So I mean, can I at least get it? Like, does it? Can I feel like? Does it feel like, oh, I can jump this, and I'm too scared to, or I'm like, there's like, I'm not going to do that, you know?
Always for anything sort of phobia wise, fear wise, discomfort wise, anything like that, you can always attempt to roll to overcome it, just as we can always attempt to, by sheer will, overcome our own fears. I try to
Well,
make
sure.
this as realistic. So, all you can do is go out there and, take a few deep breaths and, um, and, maybe you try to put a grappling hook on something like that to give yourself, well, really, you could just cast your levitate spell. Would probably be
Yeah,
the
it's just I am kind of low on exhaustion, levitate. I think it's like a sixth level. I think
right.
level.
Well, and then, remember, you can always rest. You've got lots of empty rooms that you
True,
can
true.
just
Yeah,
sit
I don't know.
down.
Yeah, I don't have to keep. That is a good point. So it's probably kind of. I know I've already had lunch, rest a bit earlier, but that was it can't be too late in the day. I don't think.
Yeah, you've probably spent an hour or so, but it's not as though you're not feeling the day,
Right,
right?
right.
And,
Yeah, why don't we actually just just go into the sixth room and close the doors and windows and kind of just chill out,
just take a breather and,
take a breather.
maybe let Nalani hunt some in the
Right,
grasslands,
right.
um, in the outer yard, between this mansion and the three guest mansions,
Mhm.
and so yeah, you sit for a while and just think back on your experiences. So you go back up to 74 exhaustion. Nalani doesn't hunt, but she does fly some, and she just sort of enjoys herself out there. You concentrate on her periodically. She sees nothing particular of note.
Mm.
Um,
Except for the dragon climbing over the hill.
I mean, why have one dragon when you can have 10?
Fair like 10 headed dragons.
That's right.
Talking about
50 Shades of Grey, 10 headed dragons. So,
it's like what's that one? Christmas? It's 12 Days of Christmas.
12 Days of Christmas.
Yeah, and Veralag's people. They had a holiday where they summoned all these monsters.
That's right.
8 unclean ogres.
It's unclean ogres. No, 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 no. Oh, yeah, I've learned that 5 calling birds
Right.
is a corruption. It's
Yeah,
5.
I think you mentioned them before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Collier. It's Collier, which means
Oh,
of
yeah.
or related to coal.
Right.
It's blackbirds.
Wow.
That's all it is. It's blackbirds.
Collier, yeah. Hmm. Collier, that's an interesting word.
Yeah, Collier.
Yeah.
So I think that's someone also I think it's a name for someone who actually hauls coal. Is a
Yeah.
collier. Oh dear, there's my guy.
When I grow up, I want to be a
So
collier. Sorry.
you're definitely more. Yeah, you're definitely more rested.
All right.
A little more with it. Um, straighten myself up here, slumping. All right. Brise is going to go back and.
Yeah, let's go back onto that balcony and try me a levitate so I can just kind of whoop, hop
Yeah.
over onto the next balcony. Use the
What
wall
level?
to guide me. That's a great question. Levitation is 6th
All right.
level. So give
Roll
that
the cast.
thing 64.
There
I
you
have
go.
not fumbled a single spell this session. I've cast like 8 spells. What is going on?
And last session you didn't fumble.
Yeah. My dice might have changed. I'm using different dice. These are different dice.
Yeah.
Do wonder.
There's so many. I love I love all the gamer superstition stuff, right? Like,
I
these
know, yeah.
dice are cold. I'm changing them. I love that. I've used the same dice for 30 years. Like,
Yeah, I had a friend who got mad at me because I rolled a couple like ones on a D20 in D&D, and it's like, you got to change your dice. I'm like, no, I don't. I'm like, what are you talking about? He was like, you gotta, like, that's just like a joke, right? It's superstition.
yeah. But I love all that stuff. I love it.
Yeah.
I love,
It
I don't
is.
know why I love it. I mean, I don't buy into it, but I love seeing people react to it. And, it just cracks me up. I don't know why it does. So, all right. So, cast levitate. You're just gonna push off gently from the thing. The winds here, there's a little bit of a downdraft from the roof line, but you figure that'll work in your favor. It'll push you down onto the next balcony. All right, so make a moderate roll to jump.
Yeah. And using the wall to guide me, right? It's 52.
Sure. Yeah, no problem. Jump. There you go. Probably want to cancel the spell so you don't forget about it.
Well,
you got to make it back though. No, you don't. You can go through the door.
Right. If the toad comes after me, right, I want to be on the ground. Well, maybe not. Maybe I want to be up here.
Yeah, because they have to climb.
Yeah.
And while it'll take them probably most of a round to get to you. It might give you another shot. You might go ahead and check the rooms and go and open the doors and everything.
True. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we'll cancel levitation. Easy peasy, and try the door, balcony door.
Yep. All opens fine.
Nice.
Yeah, no question that you couldn't see through here. It's just got mold or mildew on the panes. I mean, you can't see through it standing right up against the glass. You clear a little bit off and peek in. A lot of storage in here. It's open crates of books.
It's something really funny. I know. Sorry to interrupt.
No, it's fine.
But because you've told me the story before, right? Where you had a person wandering through some kind of temple and they found a locked door, and they're like, "Oh, it must be a key." And you're like,
"Yes."
Oh, I just thought, why don't the servants would probably have a ring of keys for all these doors? I don't know. Why didn't I think to look for that?
Well, I mean, in what way have you not looked for it?
I guess. I mean, I could have searched the kitchen, or go to the servants' quarters first, rather than exploring all the guest rooms. But just
if they're still here, then that means they died here, which is not a terribly likely scenario. They're not going to stay here until death.
True.
Unless
they might
befall them.
True, yeah.
The constructs are not going to be unfriendly toward them. Otherwise, they would kill servants. Right. That would be useless. Roll for me.
Well, those better stay inside the house. If you run away, you're going to die. 20.
Okay. Well, so in all likelihood, wherever it is with their personal possessions, maybe in that village that you saw a sign for.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, literally, they could have descendants in Balabry.
True, yeah.
Who've inherited
their keys. Might have melted them down for something else. Yeah.
Sure. I mean, just we've had these are grandma's keys. We've no idea what they were for.
Right. That's really interesting to think about. Yeah.
I mean, it's
servants be repurposed or.
Right. I mean, it's. I mean, I guess the keys probably would be so ornate. They would know they were important keys.
Right.
But. If it was a house that fell into disgrace and all that sort of thing, maybe it was passed to a higher authority. They're in a drawer somewhere, in all likelihood, just
Right,
sitting
right.
there.
That's a
Maybe
think about.
as a point of pride, they may be, displayed somewhere, saying, "Oh, she used to work for this house, and even though that house may be now disgraced or just died out, it's a point of pride for that family that
Right.
they served them faithfully." So yeah, I mean, it's sort of all these interesting cultural things about,
Yeah.
you'd have had all these problems solved with this big ring of keys.
Right.
Um, but they're just
Or
being
maybe
sort of
not, because then I'd be there like, "No, no, no, this one."
that's right. Talk about interesting role playing. Trying out 68 keys on one door. You know,
Well, the synopsis for this session will just be Brise tries a lot of keys. Get that.
exactly. That's right. This is a key episode that you have to watch.
Key, yeah.
Um, so
Anyway, so Breeze has that realization, and but she is searching around this room. Then,
so
or I guess we try to
boxes.
open the door. Yeah.
So boxes. Oh, not boxes. Boxes don't exist, but crates of books,
Hmm.
trunks of books, things like that. You just kind of go
Oh,
through. There are trunks with things stacked on top of them. You assume they're filled with books because there was one that you opened up easily.
right.
It had nothing but books in it. The books are in very good shape
Hmm.
overall. Um, Mostly in Goblin, Elven, and Thax, unsurprisingly.
Okay.
A few, let me see what your languages are. A few you don't recognize, but you're guessing probably Penn,
Yeah.
since they're a neighboring nation. For our viewers, that's a Manish nation of. I wonder if I should change Manish just to be more inclusive. A human nation of.
Womanish.
That's right, of desert people. They have occasional conflicts, both with the goblins and with the dwarves.
And as we discussed before, I forgot that Adabir was Penn as well.
Right, right. Our
National.
wizard who was murdered some sessions back, some episodes back. Um, but you're just kind of blowing through the titles right now because you just want to make sure there's no danger in these rooms and then get back to trying to plant a shot
Right, right.
on the blowtoad, which for any new viewer, the blowtoad was this giant toad that uses some sort of dangerous breath, cloud-like breath that is very painful, very caustic, burns.
They are nasty too, really strong. Yeah. Just
Yeah,
barrel
they're
into you.
large. They use this sort of they use an enormous leap attack uh, to basically butt their prey down and then try to swallow them. And apparently, they can take out human-sized targets because they've apparently knocked out quite a few.
Mm.
Um, so um, the um, the bedroom is closed. Listen, no sound. It is locked.
Mm.
What would you like to do?
Okay. Well, I'll try. If the other one was, yeah, I'll try just a level 4 unlock spell again.
Okay, roll it up.
Maybe this one's less. 767.
Well, you are doing well. No, it resists.
Okay.
You go and you unlock this door from the inside.
I'm gonna ask you, like, these magic locks, right? I guess they have to work one way, because then you're in the room. You should be able to unlock it, right?
Well, if you're on the
No,
interior,
because it was magically locked, right? So I guess, yeah.
no. The lock itself is magical.
Oh, that's right. We had this discussion last time. Yeah,
Right. I know it's a weird.
fully locked.
Just as just as
Magic.
your right, just as your sword can be plus 10 magic, so can locks,
Right.
and they are magically enhanced to resist picking and
Right.
to resist spells. And so for the spells, it adds to their resistance to magic. For lock pick attempts, it counts against your roll. And so,
Now, if
to
the
speak in
door
mechanical,
itself was like magically sealed, then it wouldn't matter which side I tried. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
yes, but your unlock spell would also work if it could overcome that magic Your
True.
wood
Yeah.
floor.
Yeah. It would be the same. Yeah. That's just kind of confusing. Yeah, it's the same unlock spell for any type.
For either condition.
Right.
Yeah. You can even use it for things that are magically sealed otherwise,
Right.
in
Right.
different forms. It's a
Sealing a pouch or sealing
right. Um,
a sliding door or something. Yeah.
right.
Window.
Um,
Okay. So bedroom door is locked.
so
We unlock this one, and then we'll go back to the balcony and try to level a shot at this blow toad. So we'll, aim and take as much time as possible to get the best
yeah,
possible shot here.
just to take your time. All right, roll it up.
100.
Roll again and add it.
Okay. 34. Beautiful.
Nice.
Now the cart just comes alive and like charges towards the. Whoa! That would be a miracle.
Oh, that's right. Right. Do the base.
It's so funny. A bow that transformed into like a bowman with a bow. That like. I love that idea. It's so extra.
That is so weird. I rolled the exact same number for the two cold criticals. That's so weird.
Wow.
It definitely reacts. It makes an enormous leap to the far side. It's difficult to tell through the foliage how badly it's hurt. But it lets out sort of a croaking cry and makes a leap almost all the way to the far side of the courtyard.
Damn. Okay.
But you feel good about having that opportunity.
Yeah. Slowly but surely. So it's on the side closer to the rats again now.
Yes, although much further north. It's up by like the room 6 and 7 up that way, whereas the rats were down by.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, the rats were on 2, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Gotcha.
So, yeah, there you go.
Okay. Well, again, I'll just try to eventually loop around and get another shot on it.
Sure. I guess we'll say that Nalani has come all the way back to you. We haven't even thought about that.
Oh, yeah. I assume once
Yeah.
she couldn't see it, she would have just come back. Yeah.
We just need to take care of that. So, all right. So you're pretty well done with this side.
Well, yeah. I was going to try to kick in the bedroom door.
Sure. Roll it up for completion's sake.
25.
That door is going to take more than kicking. These are very well made hardware. I mean, this is not cheap stuff.
All right. Fine.
So you feel like, basically you've got the courtyard to deal with, particularly if you want that mound of leftovers. And then there may be servants' quarters upstairs. Pretty likely servants' quarters upstairs are going to be very small rooms. It worries you there's going to be closer fighting. So probably even just leave the spear in the landing and use daggers.
Right.
It may be difficult even to turn around with a spear.
Yeah.
And
so yeah, before we do any more exploring, I would say probably take a break.
Absolutely. No, I think it's good. So yeah, so guys, thanks for joining us up to this point. We're going to take a quick break and stretch our legs and refill drinks and stuff. We hope you do the same. But we'll be back in just a few minutes with episode 61, and we'll see how much more of this mansion we get explored, and whether Brise is woman enough to go down to the courtyard and address that toad.
I'm woman of plenty, I'll say.
Woman of plenty.
Abundance.
So bear with us just for a few minutes. We'll be right back. Hello, everybody. And I'm going to get Max back here because, there he is. Who's
It's
my
good
little
to
Max?
be back.
So, thanks for sticking with us to the break. Brise is pretty well done exploring this side of the mansion.
Mhm.
Um, and he's got a door that's resisting being opened. Um,
Resisting. Yeah. What? So one thing I want to try before going down into the courtyard is back out in the hall. That set of stairs that leads, I think, up to the master's quarters.
yes.
Go up there and do a detect magic and see if that door is also magically locked. If it goes where I think it does first.
Roll for me.
17.
You walk up there. I don't know. This is too obvious, I think, even to bother with a roll. Your fear is even casting a spell. I mean, I guess you could stay way back and cast it,
True. Yeah.
but it might react negatively to,
Yeah. Detect magic.
yeah, because obviously, if someone's casting detect magic,
Kevin, I like how you're like, oh, this is obvious, and Max is like, I'm like, well, I didn't think about that, or what does that mean?
well, it is different when you're. I mean, when I
Yeah,
think
I'm
about your character, I think about you in the thing. I think about all the memories that flood back to you,
right,
and
right,
and I'm good at that, I think, and so I
right.
try to give you the benefit of all that knowledge.
Where,
Um,
especially because I've been just using kind of spells, utility spells, like all the time. Like, yeah, I'll just do detect magic. It's like,
right.
got
Um,
to remember this door is different level of magic. It's not just
well, and think of it this way: like this is sort of the CEO's office, right?
right,
They
right,
don't play around.
right,
No one should be casting magic in this house. Is their rule,
right.
right?
Yeah, true.
Because that means you're up to no good. They don't
Mhm.
have magic users walking around without permission. And so casting magic on that door in that area, last time it sent you miles away. Um,
Yeah. Well, then what I'll do is just check if the door is similar. Maybe it's open.
yeah, it goes up as you suspect. Very ornate set of double doors. Um, um, yeah, it's very similar to the other ones. Doors are in very good shape.
Right.
It's either excellent craftsmanship or excellent enchantment or both. Probably both. Um, roll for me.
8. Okay.
8. Well, that
8.
idea does not occur to you. Um,
I'm starting to the bad rolls are starting to come in. Yeah, I really wonder if there's any way I could get in here. I just can't think of anything in my arsenal. I mean, other than one of those intangibility potions, try to
that's
pass through.
exactly what I. That's exactly what I had you
Oh,
roll for.
there you go. Look at my other potions. I mean, I couldn't break down the wall. Break a hole into the room or something.
Right.
That would be crazy. Just Nalkart just keep launching arrows into
Yeah,
the
it'd be fun
wall.
to see what it does. Yeah.
Yeah. I do have a potion of troll strength. Oh, that might be. Pick up some big piece of rock and try to bash it through it. Yeah, I'm
Well,
not gonna.
save that for the facing the toad down there.
True, yeah. Um, but also, if like you said, the idea of like maybe this space could be salvaged. I don't want to cause unnecessary damage to it. So
Right.
um, I will have to leave that room unexplored. Okay, then we'll try to climb down into the courtyard. Well, I guess I could just go downstairs and use one of the lower rooms to go out in the courtyard as well.
Right. Yeah.
So we'll
So you
do
can go
that.
down. You go to the back of the mansion, go down the
Mhm.
stairs to the kitchen, and
Right.
then go out. Um, so let's talk about what's in your hands.
Right. I'm gonna have my spear and shield out again. And now my memory's fuzzy. I think I already explored the western side. That's where I encountered the worm, right? Or is that the eastern side?
The worm was on the eastern side.
Okay.
Um, uh, so its body is well. You're going into the courtyard, right?
Right.
There
Right.
was
I
no
get.
work. The hammer worm was is in the outer yard. It's not inside the
No,
courtyard.
no. I'm talking about the stone eater
Oh,
worm.
I see.
Right. Was that on the
Right.
western or eastern side?
That's on the western side. The other
Okay,
side.
that's what I thought. So I've already kind of explored part of that side. I would go.
Yes. In fact, that's a good question. Have you explored? I don't think you explored beyond that, beyond his room.
Yeah, I recall encountering the Earth Eater, then teleporting behind it, going through its tunnel, and then I think I ended up.
You
Uh,
lured it down. You lured it back to its tunnel, and you tried to do sleep, and sleep does not apparently work.
right.
It makes it
Yeah, that was interesting.
sort of dazed, sort of sluggish.
Sluggish. Yeah.
Um, you wonder if it ever sleeps, really, if it's a creature that, for whom sleep is alien.
Who needs sleep?
Um, so,
Yeah. But yeah, so I would. I don't recall exploring past that area. You're right. So still that, but I am interested in getting to those goods while this toad is at least injured.
yeah. So swinging back through, you can obviously enter this side and just go out into the courtyard. You'll be on the side of the toad, but then you can hunt it down and just kill it.
Right.
Um, so spear and shield is what you're doing. Did you want to use your troll strength potion?
No, no.
Okay.
Save
Uh,
that one after battle the troll.
yeah. You keep your spear, at like as though you're going to take a charge, so you
Mhm.
sort of are always ready to place it on the ground so that you can just, take its attack and it'll take yours,
Mhm.
onto that spear. And you'll get a bonus to its attack because it's charging you.
Right.
So its own energy will be used against it. Um, sneaky sneak, or are you gonna make noise to draw it out? What do you want to do?
It's sneaky sneak. Yeah.
Roll
So
it out.
towards it. I do a pretty big bonus to sneak. I don't know if I tabulated all my items, but 72. I like the
Pretty
ring.
decent. Yeah, I've got your items here.
Nalkarth even is a extra bonus.
You only get 2 items to add to any one bonus.
Is right. I do recall it. So you just take the two biggest. Yeah.
Yeah, you always take the 2 largest and you ignore all the others.
Mhm.
Oh, about to sneeze here. Whew. Oh, excuse me. Ah,
Toad just turns its head. What was that? Like, God,
that's right.
cover, Kevin.
You
The game
feel like
master sneezes.
you feel like you're, being very quiet, going down some of the natural trails that it's produced, and as it hunts for food within the courtyard, and no doubt we know that it can climb outside.
Right.
It occurs to you you could launch Nalani and let her just go way up and find him.
Yeah, yeah, true. Let's do that so that I know what direction I should be heading in. So I'm just kind of.
Up she goes. You keep her, a good 100 feet up. It's underneath the balcony of the furthest room to the north,
Okay.
and it's backed itself all the way up against the courtyard doors. Sneaky sneak. Um,
Yeah, we'll see if I can sneak my way towards it.
Roll.
99
Roll again and add it.
plus 94.
Wow. So you get a full, you get a lot of distance.
I'm
Gone.
tiptoeing on top of the blades of grass.
That's right. You're quite the Legolas. So you're about halfway up the courtyard. It has not heard you, has not moved. It moves seemingly randomly at one point as you approach. It moves across the top of the courtyard.
Okay.
It's not going to cross a trail that you're passing, so it won't have any line of sight to you as it moves across.
Sure.
Nalani continues to circle. Roll for me.
82.
So you're within about 50 or 60 feet of it. There's lots of intervening brush.
Right. This could be a shot with Nalkarth.
There's no way. You see, if Nalani had the bow, sure.
Right. So it's like I know what direction it's in, but I don't have a line of sight on it.
Right, and it's got to cut through a lot. It's got to cut through 50 feet of brush to get to it.
Right.
So you're sort of in a weird position of, yeah, you're close, but unless you charge it.
Yeah. Okay. 50 feet, I could cover that, and I could charge that, right? That's
presuming there's no intervening brush that's going to trip you up or whatever, and it's mostly grass that Nalani can see. But the stuff is, if there's anything in the undergrowth.
Yeah, it's hard to know if I'm going to trip on something or
Right.
I'm just curious. My boots of leave taking, I think they have. What does it do again? If I'm running. And running maneuvers make all running faster. Oh, okay. Running is 2 times base rate, right? So I do have a bonus, to like maneuver around stuff. So that's
right.
That's what that does. Yeah, let's give that a try. 50 feet. I've been creeping up on this thing.
Yeah,
if I can just run at it.
I may find that
catch it by surprise and give it a single stab that might finish it off.
I want to make sure I know what your leave taking boots do so that I don't fail.
Yeah, they're not really going to help too much because I'm going to be crashing through the brush. But
they won't be sneaky. But what is going on? Weird. What have I done to this thing?
I like that. I guess they're called boots of leave taking because they make it really good to flee. Right? It's like you've escaped from the enemy. They don't know where you are, and just run away real fast. They won't hear you. I'm running towards the enemy. Boots of bring taking.
That's approaching.
Boots of approaching.
Man, something is up with my dang computer. It's just really jerky in its actions.
That virus I sent you? Sorry. Sorry for that.
Oh, wow. Your running is almost silent.
Right.
Yep.
Footfalls,
All right. Roll to charge.
Just have my spear out. Running at him.
And shield, right?
Yeah. 53.
You burst in upon its location from the side. Roll for orientation.
Oops. 11.
So you come upon it like more quickly than you expected.
Right.
Throws you off a little bit. It in shock leaps. You slash at it with the spear, like the spear point as it leaves. Roll.
87.
You strike something. You don't know how well. As you know, they can jump considerably.
Yeah.
You know, you pull yourself up short. You're looking around. It's time to roll for initiative.
Okay. I do like that these things are very much like real toads. They'll just be sitting still. You poke and they really do just like they are so fast if they want to be. 73.
All right.
I feel like a lot of like fantasy games and stuff like that. It's like, oh, you can see them winding up to jump. It's like, no, they're ready to jump all the time.
All the time. Yeah. I mean, it really is instinct.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like when you watch like some animals, like they're always looking.
Right.
They're always looking because not looking kills you.
Right.
You know, it's really interesting.
Armadillos, when they get startled, they just jump straight in the air. Like
That's what I've heard. I've never seen that happen.
yeah.
I would love to. My niece was pulling up to her dad's house, and apparently they started an armadillo, and it jumped as high as the car hood.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I want to see that. I want to
Yeah.
scare an armadillo now just to see that happen.
Right.
We watched a couple of juvenile bunnies play in in a yard, and they're basically playing tag. And one ran up to the other, and the other one jumped about 3 feet in the air and spun and landed. It was remarkable, but they were having so much fun. It was really joyful to watch. There's a spraying sound that you know is got to be that caustic gas. But there's no sign of it, so it may have done it in a very random direction. But it does mean you could be approaching it if you continue. What do you want to do?
Let's have Nalani. Let's just stand where I am and have Nalani just switch to her and see if I can
just concentrate on her.
Yeah.
She is. The toad is definitively in the direction you suppose it to be, which is, you know, you have to turn to your left. The toad is somewhat covered by brush. You can't tell which way it's facing. You can see the purple haze of the mist further to your left as you've turned.
Okay.
It is drifting towards you with the wind, and it will be here soon.
Okay, so let's run away from it. Try to go towards the toad, but add like bending at an angle.
Okay.
So we kind of escape the mist. Charge through the brush some more.
All right, roll the charge. He is only about 20 feet away from you.
Okay. 85.
You break through. Not close enough to attack. It turns to face you. You can see the edge of the mist it sprayed carrying across the tops of the grass.
Yeah.
As long as the wind doesn't change, you're not in any danger from it. Next round, roll initiative.
Okay. 62.
All right, what do you intend to do?
I am going to go an all-out attack here, see if I can just nail this guy. Spear. Let's get her done.
Yep.
I'm tired of this hemming and hawing.
I think it is too, because
chasing this guy for like an hour now.
It launches itself at you. You have readied yourself for an attack. Mm-hmm. And so your spear is sort of ready to go.
Right.
So basically your attacks are going to be simultaneous. He's going to get, your attack's going to get a bigger bonus from its forward motion to you. What's the bonus on your spear? 10?
Yeah, plus 10 craft.
All right. Roll your attack, and then I'm gonna roll its attack.
74. Beautiful.
74. I'm gonna move this guy. My room list is blocking all of your bonuses. Wow, that is way off the chart. That is west half again off the chart.
Woo!
And then its attack against you. Hello, where are you?
Hello.
That's what it sounds like. A page in there.
I'm the Toad.
There we go. I'm gonna get your defensive bonus down. Yeah, none of these are going to be any fun. Wow, it almost maxed out the chart too.
Oh. Holy crap. It'd be an interesting sight to come across, just an adventurer like lying on their back and then this toad like just dead. But they
yes.
like, just collided with each other.
Yeah, it's no fun. That is no fun. 30 damage. Do you have leg greaves?
What greaves?
Leg.
Leg? No.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Yeah. So.
Well, grieve that I don't have leg greaves. No, only arm greaves.
Okay. It is. Let's roll your criticals.
Sorry, how much damage did you say again? 31?
30 damage.
30.
And we'll give you the details here in a minute. So, all right. So you get 2 criticals on him. That's how high you rolled. So, roll it up, sir.
Okay. First critical is a 58.
Okay.
And the next one's a 63. In the middle.
I gotta calculate this damage using the old methodology that they taught us in Rollmaster Companion 1.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
3, 4, 18. Good Lord. Yeah, you did 50 damage to him.
Hell yeah.
It is dead. It slams into you, slams into your shield. Your shield slams onto your leg, your shin, and there is a sickening crack.
Ooh.
You are spun and thrown. He falls beside you. You fall down. There's no question your leg is broken. You can walk slowly using your thing as a crutch, but you really don't want to make a wrong move and make that break worse.
Yeah. Have I ever have my character ever had a broken leg?
No.
Yeah. That's something I don't even know what that experience is like. I can't imagine.
No, I've been fortunate. I've never broken a bone.
Yeah. Bone in my mind. It's a read in a lot of books. I just feel like it's kind of staple of fantasy. The guy had a broken rib, and it's like, does that really feel? It must be just indescribable pain.
Yeah, broken rib I've heard is it's sort of like having a catch when you breathe. At least one form of it.
Yeah.
A buddy of mine had that, and we thought it was nothing. And then he went to the doctor after like almost a week, and it was a broken rib.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Wow. I'm gonna look through my potions real quick. If I got anything Yeah. Obi-Wan says it's no fun. Just really quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would think I should just try to get to safety of my camp,
Potion
or
of
maybe,
healing.
or yeah, I mean,
Supposedly, the potions of healings you can pour directly on a specific wound.
this is true, and I do have a potion of major healing, so I think it is time to try to use that. Um, yeah, well, I mean, I'll just take that out and where it's feels like it's snapped, pour it onto that. So that says it's 60 HP normally. So
Yep.
whatever that does.
So 67 hit points
Sweet.
gained up to your maximum, of course. And you give it a moment. The pain eases. That's funny, Obi-Wan. That's
Well,
funny.
of course. You didn't say run.
Right.
That's the only time it doesn't hurt. Sprinting and
So you sort of get up tenderly. You kind of stop and listen. You don't want other things closing in on you in the courtyard.
yeah,
I mean, it's a really big area. I mean, it's close to the size of a football field, just
yeah.
in the courtyard, a little narrower, but about as long.
Mm-hmm.
And so you sort of wait, okay, and you stand, and it's got a bit of an ache to it, but boy, you and it feel a lot better.
Wow. Whew.
In the meantime, of course, you had Nalani searching overhead, just watching for any trouble. No signs of motion in the courtyard. Sort of use her, I guess, to navigate to the treasure.
Yeah. Yeah. If I still feel good enough to kind of walk over there.
Yeah, you're sort of being ginger. You're trying not to let it. Like you're trying to be.
Right.
You're trying to be super cautious. You just
Right.
don't know
Definitely.
what.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're using your spear to bear a little bit of weight just in case.
Mm-hmm.
You make your way to a path. Use the path to navigate to the little clearing that they apparently used to sun themselves or something. No sign of any other trouble. You
Kevin,
find
I don't want to know what these toads did in this clearing. There's two of them.
and wait till you find their tadpolishness. All their little tadpoles.
Eggs, like, ugh.
Yeah, I know, right? Another little set of young that you have to figure out what to do with.
No.
Yeah, you come across the pile. And so you start going through the stuff. Shall we go through it and then call it a night? It'd be a nice place to end.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's finish off on some treasure.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut and paste the treasure and send it to you, and then we'll kind of go through it for the audience. All right.
Okay.
And that'll I want to save you some typing.
Treasure.
Oops. Well, it's actually too long to drop in the thing.
That's how much treasure it is. You can maybe email it to me.
No, I'll just send it to you in pieces. So here you go.
I don't want my treasure in pieces.
So there's one part of it. Let's see if we can get this now. How does that do? Yep, that's everything. There you go. So I mean, it takes you, gathering, sorting, tearing it free of overgrowth and stuff like that. Yeah, it's a good while, probably a good hour of work on it. So 612 gold. For context for our audience, a really nice magic item would be about that cost. 300 silver, 94 bronze. You find a yellow gem. You find a large water skin. It reduces your carried weight. That is, you won't feel burdened by 15 pounds, but it's also a +3 channeling adder.
Oh, cool.
Now you can only use one adder ever.
Right.
You can't use two at a time or anything like that. a hand axe of returning. It flies back to you from up to 150 feet away, but it's also only 10% weight.
That's awesome.
Yeah. A saber plus 15 craft. It's really well designed. 10% weight. It has a 30-point spell store.
Oh, awesome. Cool.
A chain shirt that is plus 10 substance, made of a very excellent metal. You also find pilgrim boots. They half any exhaustion rate for walking, running, anything like that, and they increase your speed.
Really cool. Yeah.
A scimitar, plus 10 magic, and it's only half the normal weight. Flask of the hard shot. I have to look that up for you. Bracers of empty hands. I have to look that up for you.
I do have arm greaves of empty hands.
There you go.
So yes. Disarm somebody with a projectile. Yeah.
Yes. So the bracers would protect less than greaves do. Okay. Right. But they don't penalize your archery. And both. Spellcasting, thrown, all of that. It will do it less. A plus 10 full shield and a half weight plus 5 ruined leather breastplate. So
wow.
Quite a nice haul for having your leg broken.
Yeah. Absolutely. With all this money, I can pay for my hospital bills. To get my
Exactly.
In America, I can pay for half my hospital bill.
Half? Shoot.
Just 612 gold pieces enough? It's like, oh, that's enough.
I'll remind you of my hospital bill, of my family's recent hospital bill.
Yes, that was.
So there you go. You finally were able to get your hands on that treasure. Let me find you Flask of the Hard Shod. Real quick.
Hard shod.
You know what shod means?
Past tense of shed. No.
It's a form of it means shoed.
Okay.
So it's a flask. You know, when you touch it, it immediately tells you what it does. All right.
Right.
So basically, you unstopper it. So it's got a cork on there. Probably more than a cork. It's probably got a chain to it. It's a nicer sort of stopper, right? Where you can't lose it. You take it out, and basically this blue mist comes up to your knees, and anyone within the mist that you want gets basically the equivalent protection of plus 5 metal leg greaves.
Ooh.
But with no penalties to your movement.
Wow.
And you can be used 3 times a day, and the protection lasts 10 minutes each time. But you could give this greave protection up to like a radius of like 50 people. 50-foot radius.
Right.
And so like you could protect, good Lord, 10, 12 guys or gals with this stuff.
Yeah, interesting.
It's going to take 24 hours in your protection before you'll be able to really control it. So now that you've touched it, in the next 24 hours, you'll have the ability to use it.
Right.
So when
it's like the plus 5 for leg greaves.
Plus 5. It counts as plus 5 metal leg greaves.
Metal leg, okay.
For anyone you want who's within the mist. So here it would have had a real shot at stopping this broken leg.
Yeah, that's really cool. I like it. Yeah, I just looked it up. Shod, yeah, it's the past tense of shoe. Which is really funny. I don't know. I've heard the term shod a lot, but I've never thought about it.
Right.
I was thinking of shorn,
Right.
Something, yeah. Well, cool. Yeah, that is quite a haul. I like it.
So there you go, sir. So there is your treasure. We'll stop there. What time of day? We got to sort of estimate time of day. It's post lunch.
Post lunch, I had explored. All those rooms had the battle with the bird, shot, toad, few times, talked with the fae. It's got to be late afternoon.
So let's call it late afternoon.
Okay.
We'll leave you there in the courtyard and the sort of the clearing, the sunning grounds of the toads, and we'll come back next week and see.
Yeah.
Try your luck with the probably I guess the upstairs of this manor, and then you have to then decide to what extent you want to try your luck on the guest mansions.
Right.
Um, so thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the mystery and the monkeying around we had this episode.
Thank you.
But at least he survived, right? That's another one. I know that Quinn doesn't like it when you live, but um, that's just too bad. Uh, so the uh, so we'll be back next week, Wednesday as always, and with episode 62. Thanks for watching, and if you think we're doing a great job, hey, you can always hop the donor box and send us a little money. If you need to see more of Max's face, and quite frankly, who doesn't, you can follow his YouTube channel. The link there you see. Where he will discuss the role of video games and original soundtracks in video games. Thanks as always to Elliot Donovitz for their terrific art on Brise's character that we used throughout the episode. I've written a novel I'm pretty proud of, and so you should hop and check that out on Amazon. And feel free to let me know what you think. So as always, thanks for everything, Brise. Max, say goodbye to these lovely
I love,
people.
I love how whenever you're talking about Brees, you say Max. Whenever you're talking about Max, you say
I
Brees.
know I get them switched up all the time. I always think of you as a beautiful young lady, and I always will. So
You always think of Brees as a headstrong man.
that's
Uh,
right.
yeah, thanks everyone for showing up, and we will see you next week. Oh, and
Absolutely.
Obi-Wan points out there's a new article
Oh,
on
that's right. Thank you for mentioning. I
Karandrin.com.
totally forget. That's right. On Karandrin.com, we've got yet another article up, and we're going to keep posting those. There should be yet another one up fairly soon. I've got to get a graphic ready for it, and I'm having trouble with that. But as soon as that's up, we'll post it, and I'm gonna keep writing and hopefully do some interesting ones. So thanks everybody for hanging out with us. We'll see you next week.